Well, hey, folk. Hey, Ken. Thanks for joining us today. This is the Mick and Pat show, and we are blessed with the presence of a guest of ours and a friend of ours, Dean. Go ahead, say hi, Dean.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, so Dean's been a homie for, gosh, dude. What year did we meet?
Probably 2017.
Yeah.
Are you guys the same age?
No.
Okay.
But
Mick's an old timer.
yeah. Dean is just a good friend, goes to the same church as Pat and I. But he travels around a lot. Dean, what do you do for a living? Because you're often out of town.
Yeah. I wear a couple different hats for the company I work for, but one of which being sales, the other which being marketing. So I'm at a lot of trade shows and expos, and I work for a Rooftop tent company. And it's a startup. So in the beginning phases, we're really trying to get the word out there, get the product in front of people's eyes. And a lot of the business we do is international. So I don't do as much international travel as I do here in the States, but it is sprinkled in there.
Gotcha. I was going to say, I was surprised when I found out you were over in Europe selling tents. And I was like, huh.
It's cold, bro.
I get it, but it's just like,
bad over there.
I mean, I guess there is a lot of woods, and I did see a decent camping culture when I was in like Norway. But like, just wouldn't have guessed that that was like worth the like finances to send you over there for the market. But I guess it's a big market over there, right?
Germany is the third largest market that we have. That is in the whole rooftop tent industry. Germany is the third largest.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And a lot of people will travel from neighboring countries to go to shows when we're there. So we'll get a lot of people from Switzerland and France and up north as well. So it's big. I was there for a couple weeks this summer in a couple different areas in Germany, and they're interesting people, to say the least.
Yeah.
Do you have a rooftop tent?
I do have one. I had one from a different brand that was much cheaper. That one is currently sitting in my garage waiting to be sold. But I get free access to any of the ones that we've got at the shop. So
I was going to say, you had something big on your roof rack on Sunday.
Yeah.
Or is that just the roof rack? The roof rack's just that intense.
No, that was the tent.
That was a tent?
Yeah. It takes up most of your roof space. We do have a single man tent that we're releasing. It's pretty small. It's about half the size of your roof, but
nice.
It's pretty coffin-esque, I'd say.
Some people like that. I actually like that camping. I prefer tighter enclosed space camping.
Yeah, it feels warmer and cozier.
It just feels like less like something will find me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the idea of like, it feels like I'm just nestled up between two logs. Like something will just step over and just keep going.
This is funny because in this case, you're like on a car.
Yeah. You're like on like something that doubles the height of the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
but
up there.
Here's the thing. I don't want to bust your nuts, but I do want you to kind of sell me on my concerns of a rooftop car, Ted, because I'll tell you what, at one point, I was like, this sounds sick. And then I was like, wait a second. And now I have questions. So, of course, we're not going to say your company or anything like that because I don't want you to get trouble, especially if you give like a bad answer. I don't want them to be like, what the hell are we doing?
What kind of sales guy is this?
But I do have questions for you. This is not the whole episode, by the way, but I do kind of want to see if you can answer these questions.
Okay, go for it.
All right, Dean, first up, scenario one.
All right.
I am driving my 4Runner with my rooftop tent, and it is it's on top of it, and as I'm like driving around, I'm not going camping. I'm just parking my 4Runner in a car garage. How hard would it be for someone to get that tent off that rack? Like, how much time do you think on average would it be to be like, damn, those tents are $1,300.
At least. So a lot of them far more expensive.
Yeah.
One, it depends on the rack that you have, because some racks make it pretty accessible, but for me personally, like if you're using like a regular like wrench to get one of these on your rack,
I'm using like fentanyl user supplies. So
yeah, you're going
whole Craftsman toolkit set I just stole out of the back of your truck.
It is not only going to take you hours.
Oh, really?
Not because it's actually that difficult to put on, but without like a good quality tool, you're doing a quarter turn at a time on half of these nuts.
Okay.
And if it's just one of those things where the sheer amount of time it takes you to do 1/4 turn at a time, you'll probably get more annoyed and just give up before you actually get it off. And not to mention, you have to have a few of your potential crackhead friends with you to get it off, because it's probably closer to 200 pounds.
Dude, $1,300. Let's say I just like pawn that thing for $5,000. Dude, $500 buys a lot of fentanyl, dude. I'm just saying it might be worth the investment for some of our fentanyl users out there. I know what we're doing
after the show, because those tools you're talking about, I've got 8 sets of them in my truck.
Yeah, they're just roaming around, dude. Screw. There's more money in that than there is in Cadillac converters.
And we've got the expert with us, so you'll know how to get them off fast. We'll just.
Did I say Cadillac converters?
You did. I was
catalytic.
I was letting it slide, just like whoosh,
it's my dementia. It's getting worse.
How did I say this? Like, how do you?
Wait, hold on. I'll let you time formulate that because I have another 2 scenarios.
All right, keep going. All
right, so say it's really easy to put measures in place to make it impossible.
Make it more inconvenient. Like it's more convenient to hotwire the car than it is to steal a tent.
I have only heard of one person ever having one stolen off their car, and it's just because it's a huge pain in the butt.
All right, sure. Okay, I'm car tent camping now.
Okay.
I'm out in the boonies.
All right.
I, put on my rock crawl, put my rock crawl setting on my Land Cruiser, and like I'm off the trail. There's no bench to set up my stove cook, and like a dingus, I just have my jet boil on that nice flat supported interior tent, and I'm just jet boiling my beans while looking out my unzipped front tent door.
Is that what you call it? Sorry,
what, jet boil?
Jet boiling your beans.
Well, bro, what else do you jet boil other than a can of beans?
Dude, some coffee.
Dude, jet boiling chili and beans is delicious. I don't care what people say.
I was jet boiling my beans the other night behind a gas station.
That's disgusting.
Sorry.
You meant that.
I was jet boiling my beans in a dark alleyway.
Why has it got to be a dark spot in public? Why don't you guys do that at home?
When I was jet boiling my beans in broad daylight out in front of the town square.
Hey, you both are married too. Why are you jet boiling your beans, bro?
Oh my god!
All right, sorry. Keep going.
All right.
You have an open flame in your car tent,
and I tip it over.
Right.
That nylon upholstery, whatever tent's made out of, my down sleeping bag. Classic movie scene. That's the gas exploding, the gas station exploded on. How quickly is it to what are my options to really get that off? Like, how hard would it be to rip that tent off if it's on fire and I don't want it to burn my car down?
Yeah, I mean, what I would personally do is actually close up the tent entirely, because it's the ones that we have are aluminum shells.
Oh, they're aluminum shelled.
And just starve it, basically.
Just try to smother it that way?
But that's assuming that I'm dumb enough to have an open flame inside
Bro,
of
have you
this
seen the people
tent.
who buy
So you don't cook in the
tents?
tent. You don't sell a cooking accessory, flat top accessory, so you can sear steaks in your tent. Don't cook in the tent. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's just one of those things, most people should just know that you don't have a fire going.
You say that like you haven't been camping before.
Have
you seen how dumb people are when they go camping?
Jet boil is not as big of a deal, in my opinion. It's pretty small, and it's probably pretty easy to contain for the most part.
Sure.
I wouldn't
but don't have your
It's the sheer instability of a jet boil that I think is
scary.
Yeah. It's it's teeter-tottering on a pen.
And I don't know, why would you even bring that when you could just plug in your George Foreman to your DC outlet on your car? You know what I mean?
It's getting to that point for sure.
I would do it. Dude, George Foreman grill out camping, that's bomb.com. All right, last question, and this is the most common scenario I hear from people who are the critics of roof rack tents.
Mm-hmm.
I get my roof rack tent set up. You know, it's all there. Camp's kind of set up. And I'm like, oh, shit. I forgot XYZ. I need to run to the store.
Yeah.
I got to take my tent down so I can drive away to go get groceries in town and come back.
Mm.
What's your argument against that?
I mean,
what's your argument against that, tent man?
Plan ahead, bring your food.
The first tent that I had, it would take me like 10 to 15 minutes to pack up, and it really didn't feel worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The company that I work for, we advertise about a 60-second setup, but it can honestly be done in about 30.
Okay. So you're saying like
it is
worst case scenario. Let's say
medical emergency.
Medical emergency.
You know, you got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in some cases, you just drive off.
Just drive off. Let that thing like get
yeeted off the top.
I'm just saying, like massive roof rack tent on like a Subaru. You're just wheeling with the wind resistance. Yeah,
I'm imagining just looking like Christmas Vacation while you're driving.
Well, I was going to say this, and this was an opportunity for you to be creative here. Okay, Pat's wife's name on the podcast, her nickname is Mace Windu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mick, me wife's name, nombre, is Billie Jean.
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean, Mace Windu. So, Dean, let's say your wife, who is, what's her name?
I don't know. You got any ideas?
Dude, I don't know her middle name.
You could go with Jerry Lewis.
You could go with Black Widow.
Because of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
I'll take that.
Jerry Lewis?
All right, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's say Jerry is injured and like you got to give her a ride into town to the closest hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just toss the sleeping bag and pillows out and then just close the tent up and roll?
You can close all that stuff inside of the tent.
What? You can sandwich it down?
Yeah.
No, you lie.
Just leave them in there.
I don't lie.
Like what about like your air mattress or your...
Well, it's got a mattress inside of it already.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know it already had a mattress inside. I thought it just was like taut ribbed fabric and you just blow up your mattress on top of it.
Mattress is already inside.
Whoa.
Not inflating. It's just there. You can keep your sleeping bags.
Yeah, I don't use ribbed fabric when I boil my beans. Sorry.
I just... You just look at him and nod. Like,
no problem.
You can't encourage it.
Listen, this is my brain I'm trapped in. But so rooftop tents, they've come a long way.
They have, yeah.
Here's so it sounds like that for years you can collapse it down and just go. It's pretty sweet. But here's the question: to not look like a douche, do you need more or less accessories on the car once you get a rooftop tent?
Smoke break?
Smoke break.
Hey, Ken, it's Mick, and I've got something important to talk about. We all hope we never find ourselves in a self-defense situation, but life's unpredictable. Enter the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer, an actual credible law firm you can put on retainer for your self-defense needs. For just $35 a month, you get national coverage in all 50 states for criminal and civil legal representation in self-defense situations, complete with a 24/7, 365 toll-free emergency line. That's real legal support when you need it most. What's in the package? Bail bonds, scene cleanup, firearm replacement, even mental health counseling. Plus, zero fees for a laundry list of defense-related costs like expert witnesses. So support the show and get yourself some peace of mind. Click the link in our show notes or visit our sponsors page to sign up for the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer.
Hey folks, Pat here. If you're like Mick and I, you're a fan of classic tales like Lonesome Dove, Blood Meridian, The Three-Body Problem, and Steinbeck's East of Eden. With Audible, you can dive into these epic stories anytime, anywhere. Sign up for a free month, and your first audiobook is on the house. To start your free trial and support our show, click the link in the show notes or swing by the sponsors page on our website.
Want an awesome website for your podcast? Check out Podpage. We use it for the Mick Pat show, and it's a game changer. Set it up in minutes, no coding needed. Support the show by using our link to get started. Your podcast deserves a home as great as ours. Podpage, the one-stop solution. I think a light rack is mandatory.
Light rack.
There is a beautiful balance. I would say there's a balance of functionality and looking like that overland douche.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the guy that has thousands of dollars of things that he has never used. And it's like when you're in the industry, you can tell the difference between the people that use their stuff and the people that don't.
Yeah.
And some stuff serves a lot of purposes and it's really great and it's very useful. And other stuff really does not.
Since I stopped being a bachelor, I really cut down on my camping time. I probably camp a quarter as much as I did when I was a single man. And I'm talking like single, like not dating anybody.
Right.
Just, especially with where we live, there was times where I would like just go and camp.
Well, let me ask,
Like
is that primarily because
Sunday night?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that primarily because your wife does not actually really enjoy camping that much?
Because you have a job.
I have a job and I have a wife who does enjoy camping when it's
Warm.
when it's like
well thought out and
planned and like comfortable and there's like you don't feel like you're missing anything. I like used to just love sleeping in like the fresh air and just like being able to roll up, throw out the tent like real quick. I had like I still have it, a 1-man REI tent that was just so easy to pop up and toss down. And sometimes I would just do that when I got real stressed. I did that freshman year a couple of times. Like me and like someone else would just roll up the canyon and just toss tents out for Saturday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. Didn't really matter. My first class was at like 11 a.m. So, but it was I just like those were different, the very different times. I was also way more content with like if it sucked. Like I found pleasure in the suck, and now I would not, because I'd be like, if my wife is unhappy, if Billie Jean thinks this sucks, then it's like, then it's going to suck. Like,
see, I'm in this process right now, and this could lead me to a total dead end where I'm trying to convince Jerry Lewis that she likes camping a good amount, and with like the
gaslighting her.
Well, with the
no, man, I'm not dogging. I'm just saying
the helpful and necessary accessories and things that can give her what she wants out of camping. Because the reality is, guys like camping because it's uncomfortable and it's kind of unpredictable to some sense. And
I don't even think all guys do. I would say like,
I feel like the drive for guys though is like there's something about like a hearkening back. That's my favorite. But then like also like a feeling of winning the West. Like I feel like whatever that thing is, whether you're doing that,
I kind of get it.
I don't know.
I'll be honest. For me, it's just
getting away.
It's literally just like being able to do it and smell fresh air and then just like not have it be like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like my least favorite part of camping is when it becomes a big deal. My favorite part of camping is like, at least the thing I miss most about it is like, it's not a big deal if I just get in my car, drive up to one of my favorite spots, toss down, go to sleep looking at the stars, get up, come back. And like no one sometimes no one even knew I was gone. You know what I mean? Sometimes my roommates didn't even know I was gone, right? And it was just like convenient, easy, not a big deal. And now like if I was to do it, it's gotta be planned out. It's gotta be thought out.
Yeah,
it's a deal.
You're caught between a rock and a hard place here because see, women are the exact opposite.
Exactly.
They like a good
do you like doing the planning? Do you like how like thought out it has to be now, like that you're not just responsible for yourself?
No, but I have ways to combat that being necessary, which means like I drive an old Land Cruiser. I keep my camping stuff in the back all the time. So
you too. My tents and sleeping bags are always in the back of my 400.
Yeah. So if Jerry Lewis likes things to be a little more planned and organized, I'm 5 steps ahead, because that means all we got to do is go to the store and get some groceries,
get some food,
and then bop up to the mountains for an evening. But that's assuming that I have like all the other necessary steps like accounted for so that she's not uncomfortable when we're going to camp. Because there's like surprisingly certain things that she really wants, which is like, for some reason, like going to bed and having like a nighttime routine is like something that's valuable for
Mace
my
Windu,
wife.
Mace
and most
Windu,
women.
creature of routine. Billie Jean is a creature of
I think
routine
we talked
too.
about routine on this a little bit too. Like, I like routines only so that I can break them. Like, that's like what gives me life is breaking routine. So I have to have the routine so that it can be broken, or else I'm in complete chaos. But like, whatever, like something's going on in life, you're just doing your normal thing, but then you get a call, a buddy needs to get picked up. You're like, best day ever. All right.
Then you're jet boiling beans in public.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm just on like, and it's one guy, I actually talked about a guy last week about this. He said it was context switches in his life. He's like, when I was younger, I loved context switches all the time. Like, context switches in my life, I loved them. Now as I got older, I don't like them as much.
Context switches?
Context, yeah. Picturing like and he was talking in like, you know, kind of like the same thing I'm talking about, where you go, all right, it's the end of my day. I'm about to sit down and eat dinner and then like watch a show and then go to bed. That's like what you're about to do. But then it's like, okay, I'm sitting down to eat dinner and like I get a call that like, yeah, buddy broke down, or I get a call that like my rental property had a pipe break, or I get a call that, you know, my other side gig company has a crisis. You like get excited about that because you want to go, like, you're like, oh, let's go. You know, like it's like you ramp up, you turn on, you go deal with the problem or whatever it is, versus someone who, for some people that is like exciting, for other people that totally just derails the routine.
I think it was exciting at one point.
Right.
It's not that exciting to me now.
Yeah. So that's what he was saying was, as you get older, context switches get less exciting.
I think that's because you realize how much it interrupts the other people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
But if you don't have people around you, then
that's what I'm saying. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But like I used to in high school go and pick up homies who were too blitzed.
Mm-hmm.
In college, I'd go pick up homies who were too blitzed. Like in the middle of the night, if I woke up,
it was the best day
and
ever.
they were taking, and I was
like, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go
and bring them home or take them to like Waffle House. Dude, I used to be tire repair guy, where like if anyone's tire blew,
mm-hmm.
they'd call and ask me to come help them change their tire or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Also was, I hear something in my house guy. And it was like that happened a couple of times in college, where like the all girls house would call me and my roomies and be like, we all feel like we hear something, and like but we're all in this other room, and it's like, it's probably your house, but
your house was made in the 1920s.
You live in a college town, your house hasn't been greased in a long time.
It's literally like Elf. And he's like, he calls in the movie Elf. Will Ferrell calls and he's like, it's making this noise. Like,
yeah,
it's okay, but that's the radiator.
That's the radio. You know? Yeah. But anyways, if anyone called me now, was like, "Hey man, I got a flat tire. Can you come help me change it?" I'd be like, "No, I can't."
It would be
like I
gotta wake up in like 5 hours. I'd be like, I'm gonna lose an hour of sleep.
Oh, dude, if someone called me at night, I'm not answering. Bro, the way I sleep now is so different than how I slept as a bachelor. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in deep REM. I got my sleep app. I got my headband with my Bluetooth headphones incorporated in it that's covering my eyes. You know? Yeah, I got the white noise air filter fan in the bedroom.
50.
Bro, dude, I'm just saying, like, if someone calls me, I'll hear it. Like, my phone will ring, and if I look and it's not like mom, I'm hanging up, dude. Like, I'm just ignoring it. And like, but also, like, let's say it wasn't dead of the sleep time. Let's just say it's like middle of the day. I'm working from home. So it was like, hey, dude, I got a flat tire on, the highway. Can you come get me? I'm like, look, man, we are both approaching 30. If you don't have that spare tire and know how to change it right now, we got bigger problems. I'll tell you what, this weekend I will come over with a beer, like a 6-pack, and we will learn how to change a tire with like together.
Yeah.
But like
it's like
right now,
it's like, and if you don't have like a credit card with a big enough limit to like get yourself out of this situation, like you're willing to help a friend, but still it's like you're at the point where like your dad aged.
You need to fall out of the nest.
You got to handle it. You got to like. I'd be like too prideful in some cases where it's just like, I'm not calling my friend. I'm charging the tow truck or whatever. Like because I was too like, I am the type of person who's like would be riding dirty on the no spare tire. You know, like with now that I have kids, it's a little different. But like, I am that type of person. Just be like, it's fine, and then you find yourself in trouble. And that just reminded me of a college story from the flat tires, man, because we had this buddy who I think like a fairly book smart guy, and he lived down Springs from here, and he was coming up to visit, and he made it like 4 miles from his house coming up north, and we get this call from him, and he's like, I'm broken down, or he's like, I have a flat tire on the side of the road. What do I do? And like, we're like, okay, just change the tire. And there's 4 of us with a speakerphone sitting on the college couch, just like talking to him, like, okay, like change the spare tire. He's like, where is it? We're like, it's usually in the back of your car. Like, what type of car are you driving? Like, somebody's got the MacBook up, we're typing out. It's like whatever, like 2003 Camry. Okay, you go in the back of your trunk and lift up the bottom of your trunk, and it's sitting right there. The tire's right there. You know,
a hidden compartment.
No, dude. He goes. We were on the phone with him for a solid hour and a half, and he's like, "It's not there." We're like, "What do you mean it's not there?" He's like, "It's not in the back of my trunk." Back and forth. So he's all this stuff until finally we had to have a guy come. We had to have one of our friends' dads, who lives down there, come pick him up. But like, for an hour and a half, we went back and forth with this guy on the phone of, it's in your trunk. No, it's not in my trunk. He was just looking
at the trunk.
In the trunk.
Yeah, he
Where
didn't move
is
anything
your
else.
father?
Yeah, dude. I know, dude.
Where?
Hey, hey, hey.
Even the Petri dish kid knows where the freaking tire is.
I would bet, buddy, I've changed more tires than people with dads on average, like by this point.
And so this same guy, though, also, he joined the military, and he called us.
Some people need the military.
There was a language barrier here because he went back to South Korea, and he grew up in America, but he had his citizenship. Goes back and he joins up, and he's like talking with us on the phone. He's like, "Those things, what do you call them that come out of the gun?" We're like, we're like bullets. He's like, yeah, those things. He's like, those things get hot. I'm like, yes, they do. Same kid though. To make a grilled cheese, what did he do?
Put it in the microwave, didn't he?
No, he took a Kraft single, heated up a pan, stuck the Kraft single on the pan. That's it. No more steps.
He didn't put mayo down first?
He didn't put bread. He didn't unwrap the cheese.
A true
He didn't unwrap the cheese? You lie.
No, dude.
Bro, dude.
But he's like a straight A student.
Yeah. No, that
It's one
makes
of those,
sense,
like,
bro.
it was like,
I've met
what
quite a
in
few
the
people
world?
like that. I actually just was like mentoring a guy who just graduated high school who's a lot like that, who unfortunately way too sheltered by his parents. Incredibly bright and well-mannered. Just someone who I'm just like, he's going to have a hard time in college. Like, he is not prepared for it. And like, God forbid he's going to be in any situation that requires not intellect, but just critical thinking. You know what I mean? Which is weird because he was like, he's very engineer minded, and is like can like solve a lot of things. Not like he's got no autism or nothing like that, but literally just because of the shelter upbringing. I remember he was asking me, he's like string bean kid, tall, skinny string bean kid, glasses, like not sickly, but he just looks like he would die.
He's
in
a
like,
little pale.
He looked like he'd die in a month, but less than a month. And all of us would die without food for a month. He looks like he'd die in a couple days. Like that, now, no body fat, right? And I remember he asked me, and it's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with not knowing how to do this. I don't want anyone to feel bad, but he asked me, he's like, "What would I do? What should I do if like someone's bullying me and like now like there's no parents and teachers aren't going to care because it's college?" I'm like,
oh no.
I was like, all right, let's talk about it. And like it got to the point where like I wasn't telling him like you need to beat the snot out of someone, right? But I was just like, we were talking about it. It got to the point where it was like, well, how do I make a fist? I was like, all right, okay.
So this is where we're starting.
This is where we're at. And like I had to show him how to like stand and throw it without like this wasn't no like, all right, jujitsu 101. This was like hurt them before they kill you, like 101, right? Like go down swinging, like die with dignity, because like I cannot save you in like this 1 hour lesson.
Listen, you're gonna die, but I'm gonna make sure you're not embarrassed when you die.
You're gonna die, but like I'm gonna make sure all the people recording it like are like, damn, at least you went down with some class.
He did his best.
Yeah, the old open hand double slap. But oh man, because I think that there's guys like that out there, and I don't know what a solution is, or if there needs to be a solution, because there's one guy I know who he joined Air Force, went Space Force. Before he got out of academy, got removed and got hired on as a contractor to the Space Force. I guess he was Air Force Academy, got taken out before he graduated. So he was like, he's under 21, gets hired by Space Force as a contractor.
What are you talking? Wait, hold on. That makes no sense. He enlisted in the Air Force?
Where he was at the Air Force Academy.
He was at the Air Force Academy.
The Air Force Academy. Okay,
yes,
so he didn't go Air Force, then the Academy. He was at the Air Force Academy, not active duty.
So I was remembering so he goes to the Air Force Academy, like
gotcha.
Second or third year, gets pulled, and because they were like, you should just contract for Space Force. So he pulls, now he's civilian contracting for Space Force, $330K a year. Yeah. Just like, but like literally a shell of a person. Like there's nothing going on inside of like the soul or like the personality or the ability to like problem solve, like to change a tire.
Sounds like Wang Mao. Wang Miao? From Three Body?
From Three Body, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Would he be in the three? Like, he should be in the Three Body books, is what it sounds like to me.
Yes. He is Asian.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Is that, no, but he is like that type of person who's just, that's working for him.
Yeah.
$330K a year. But he has no idea what to do with it. He's not going to buy a rooftop tent. He's like, he's just like probably sitting on like a couple mil, just like,
gosh,
he drives a Hyundai.
Yeah, he's like I'm going to work the next day. Like, I don't know, what's the deal?
I bet you money that he's gonna buy a star and give it to someone he loves
before they've seen each other in person.
It literally happens in one of the books in the Three Body Problem series. It's just all the cash in the world, kind of that thing, like just all work, no play. And the UN starts a program to fund the space development of like the actual Space Force, like ships in space. And it's philanthropy to sell stars to philanthropists. And the
talking about the same guy?
The closer the book is, the closer the star is in the book, the more money it costs and stuff like that. If it's got planets around it, I'm just like thinking like at that point, like if you got nothing to do, what do you do with that cash? I guess buy a star. You know what I mean? Give it away to the girl of your dreams.
Yeah. Yep. Fancy.
I'm gonna lob this out there, Mick, and I'm not trying to hurt your feelings again.
All right. Talk about how I don't have a dad again.
All right. You gave me permission.
Bro, you don't need it.
this just
cheese.
stresses the importance of fatherhood.
What does? Like the importance of like being a person?
Raising well-rounded
individuals, yeah.
Capable sons.
Mm-hmm.
And confident daughters.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, you should listen to our series. Thanks for teeing us up. I don't know if Dean's heard the series or not. We have a whole series on fatherhood.
Really?
Yeah, where we interviewed like actual dads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so. But anyway, actually on that question, fatherhood, camping, full circle real quick.
Camping.
Pat, is camping still fun for you? Or is it like the dynamic of you taking Mace Windu and the two little Pats out is I feel like way different dynamic than being solo bachelor. I just need to eat a can of beans.
Yeah, it is way different. On a personal note, I have gone from the like I used to go with like shelter wise a tarp, you know, to now I'm like, yeah, I'll buy an RV, you know, like that sounds great, you know? So like personally I've shifted a little. And then also there's the, on the family side of things, my boys are pretty young to go camping. And we've gotten out, like we've done a little backyard tent action, you know, just to like even sleep in a tent without it being scary type stuff. And then did a night out camping with my older boy. And I think like, what I'm looking forward to is in the next couple years, we'll get back into the camping game. And I have this thing right now where I kind of just don't want to do anything that takes a lot of effort that's going to not create any memories. So on one standpoint, it's good to like get my kids out now as a, 1.5-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, just to like the backyard camping, to like not for memory building, but for building their comfort level with life in general too. I feel like even like being able to like be cold for a night is gonna extend your ability to actually do kind of anything hard in life. Just the classic, anything that you can learn how to suffer through, it's gonna benefit you in all sorts of other areas of your life. And so I feel like I should be getting them out more to develop them in that sense. But from a memory building standpoint, it is like we're not gonna put in a ton of effort for something that literally they're not going to remember at this stage. So probably like the next like 2 or 3 years, throughout the next 2-3 years, we'll start getting out there where it is like, my boy will think that we're literally in the middle of nowhere and we're just parked off the road at a, at a campsite, type stuff. And so I'm excited to start doing that. Right now, I don't, and it has totally shifted to where as a kid, it was like going camping just was in some cases, like the reason for existence was to like go out and camp. Like me and my cousin growing up and families growing up, we'd camp all the time and go out and just like, and we would always, like me and my cousin as kids, we'd always take like less and less gear every single time, just to the point where it's like, all right, like tonight, nothing. It's like, all right, we're just go sleep in the field and like whatever, like sort of stuff. And that was great. Now I know I can do that. I just don't want to. Same with like my philosophy on like building a fire. I've built a fire with a lighter, but also with flint and steel, and I can do a bow drill fire. How I start a fire now is I screw my propane tank into my torch, and I click the button, and it fires right up. And it's like I don't get the same thing if I sit there and shave down a piece of flint and then light it up. I'm like, I'm not the same. It's not the same thing for me. So I'm excited to start. I'm shifting to a point in my life where I'm going to start passing those things on because I know I can do them. But it's just now for me, if I'm by myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get a hotel or whatever. like, even though I know I could survive, whatever. Like that's the kind of like as the thing shifts. Or I'm just going to turn on the propane torch. So.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think, though, too, to encourage you, I think, honestly, some of my earliest memories, if not, I can't tell which ones came first.
They can be pretty early, though.
We're camping. And most of the time, it was just my mom taking me out for a night in, like, Michigan. You know what I mean? And it was just like it's so easy in Michigan because there's so many like flat, accessible, not difficult, places to access to camp.
Are you a troll, or are you from the UP?
No, I'm from Colorado.
Oh,
Early years were in Michigan.
gotcha.
Yeah, I was born here though. Just
Mm-hmm.
lived in Michigan for a little while.
Okay.
No, but the UP is like UP. You don't just like unless you live in the UP.
You don't just go up there.
You don't just go up there to camp. Like that's a brutal camping like experience. Like,
But is it not beautiful during the
it is
summer
beautiful,
times?
but like you can just get like, I mean, most places, you can get like within 10 minutes into the woods pretty quick and just be deep, dark woods and just surrounded by nature. At least in my experience from like where my families all live and spread out in Michigan. And so like the UP is like, oh, summertime. Yeah. Fall. Of course. Go up there, see the leaves change. Probably too cold to camp, but winter, spring, it's like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
You're geared up.
Like, why would you try to camp out here unless you're
Just
like
don't go
doing a
there.
survival documentary or something?
Or like with a 4-year-old. That's a no-go.
Yeah, no, not even.
And,
And no one
With
does
a
that.
40-year-old, it's probably a no-go.
People take them ice fishing. That's what you do instead. Like you go ice fish. You don't go camp in the snow. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's what I think my earliest memories, I even talked about it on when we did the fatherhood podcast, when I was talking, like earliest memories are from being with my dad,
Camping. Yeah.
For sure. And those are in there.
Yeah.
Like probably 3.5 years old. So pretty early.
When's the last time you went camping? Like not with the boys, but like camping with you, Mace Windu, and one of your kids or something, or
I took my boy out for like a real camping night a year and a half ago, and then actually right at a year ago. And then we're looking at like 4 or 5 years on like real camping.
yeah.
And then besides elk hunting and stuff on my own or with other people, but not with Mace Windu. Mace Windu hates the cold. I gotta have it.
Yeah.
I gotta have it dialed in.
Billie
for that.
Jean hates the cold too, which is all right. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times where I've been miserably cold camping, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But like, I can get through it. And Billie Jean do not want to get through it. Billie Jean
Right.
want to like get in the car and get warm and
And like
consider elsewhere.
they'd survive even better than us because they are tougher, but they would not on the afterwards enjoyed it as much as we did on the back end. We'd be like, oh, that was great. They'd be like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Comfort is a big factor.
Yeah, it is. And I'm also gotten to the point now where I'm just like, I feel like I might as well just pull the trigger on like a pop-up or like just like a fifth wheel camper, just because it's like the time it takes to set up compared to the time it takes to set up a 3-4 man size tent, envelope and air mattress, and get the rain cover on, you know what I mean, all that stuff. Like it's just like it'd be less of a headache, and I know my wife is going to be warmer, happier, stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at now at this point of like
heading towards camper life. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like when you're younger, you turn up your nose at it, and as it goes, you just start to be like, "Yep, RV, full bus, let's go."
Well, I'm at the point now.
Stove, refrigerator, bathroom.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I'm just looking at stuff. I'm like, what's just an enclosed like mattress? Like that's all. Like just an enclosed mattress on wheels. Because I don't mind doing the cooking and everything. I don't cook in the tent.
Yeah.
I don't need to get changed to the tent. I've changed outside, plenty of times, or changing the car even. And I'm just like, so all I really need to keep her happy is just a bed on wheels.
Sounds like the
A
rooftop tent is
bro.
like that's like the
It's
thing,
like,
bro.
I think we've come full circle with that.
Well done, Dean.
Throw
Well
a
done,
little-
sir.
throw a little diesel
Put her there.
heater
I'll
in
take
there.
one rooftop tent. Anyways, funny stuff. Well, we were also talking about kind of reminiscing good old college days. And I have a good one. It's partly a confession, Billie Jean knows it, but I don't know if her friends know it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if her friends listen to this that much, but we were talking about college stories before we were airing on, and there's one I'm very fond of, and I'll be sure to make sure not to use anyone's name because I have to protect my fellow agents.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a code named group chat on GroupMe that was called Papa Oscar Oscar Papa. It came
highly creative.
Yeah. Hey, girls won't figure it out. But like it came about because our Bible study leader who lived in the house, he was living in this college house at the time that we all eventually lived in a year or two later. And for some reason, I don't know who's the first person to suggest, but he's like, what if we do the classic poop in a bag and light it on fire and just start leaving it on people's doors? Like leave it on like the other college homies that we know, leave it on their doors. And everyone was like, oh dude, that'd be so funny, bro. Like, what if we go do that? And I missed the first one because I was dating a girl who was from out of town. I was like, guys, I cannot leave her here to go shit in a bag. Like, she's like here from Wisconsin. Like, you know how bad this will be for me if like I'm like, hey, I'll be back in like 4 hours. I'm gonna go shit in a bag and leave it like that. This is not working.
Storm brain. We gotta do something.
Yeah,
about
like
it.
no, and like so I was bummed I missed the first time that happened, but then
It became routine.
after that, yeah, I know. After that, like we started like I think it was like later that summer we did it again, and I was able to make it that time. And like, dude, just the absolute like shit. Yeah, forgive my expression, right? But like shit thrown against the wall of trying to figure out how to put a turd in a bag. And like not lose any decency. Like it was hilarious because like all of us were like, all right, here, take your brown bags. And then like we had like planned it, right? And so we're like and everyone this is the best part of the group. Everyone had like different nicknames related to poops. Like someone's code name was Montezuma's Revenge. Someone's nickname was just Brown Leader instead of Stars. I can't remember. We were all like just different nicknames of like poop. And we had been talking like, all right, everybody eat your Taco Bell, all right, everybody, like do not let it out at any point of the day. No nicotine, no coffee, hold it off. And everyone's like, all right. And so that evening we like are all in this backyard and just gotta hit out the paper bags and then walk off into different corners of the backyard. And I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna be caught dead picking up my turd and putting it in the bag like some savage. Like I'm just gonna open the bag up underneath my butt and poop in it. And I just like use the tree as a base. And as I'm doing that, the audacity of one of my friends to just laugh at me while I'm doing that, and he's literally picking up his shit and putting it in the bag, and I'm just like, what are you laughing at, you animal? Like,
It's just like he's got a plastic bag. And
no, he's like got like a
he's
little
barehanding
bit.
it.
He's got like a napkin, like a napkin, and not even like a paper towel. Like barely covers his fingers, and he's like laughing at me trying to poop in this bag. He's like, what are you gonna do if you miss? I'm like, I'll figure that out, but I'm not gonna miss. And like,
your plan A is not my plan.
yeah,
A.
exactly. And, but it was pretty funny. We all got poop in the bags, had some big ones. All were joking about who's like got the bigger bag or whatever. And we started rolling around town and just leaving them on people's doorsteps and lighting on fire. And one of the best ones was just this college kid who, I mean, like I said, we all knew each other. We didn't do like strangers or people who would have been upset about it. Well, I guess we knew people who'd be upset about it and we picked them, but they were friends, right? And we did it in like out of a book. This dude comes out of his house and he's just like, oh, real fucking funny, kids. Ah, I swear to God, I'll find you. And like just like going all old man, and we're like in these trees trying not to like split our sizes, like laughing like kids, Did
he stomp it?
Yeah, he did, and he did not find it funny at all. And then the next dude we went to was the worship leader, for our college ministry group. It was his house. We put it out there, and he opens the door. I mean, it was pretty tall fires of flames on the back. Like, it was going. Yeah, it was going. And then I was at one point, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he comes to the door. Like, puts it out. He comes in, he's like, opens the door. He's like, ah, crap. And like closes the door, comes back with like just a cup of water, pours it out. He's like, ew. And then he looks out at us and waves his fist. Like, he couldn't see us, but he's like waving around. I was like, you darn kids. And then he just throws it away.
Would this have been a Z?
No, not a Z.
No.
This would have been a Chicagoan native.
All right.
But it was so funny. And then we did, a couple more times, and then finally we did the one at the time where we weren't dating. Billie Jean and I weren't dating yet, but we were like good friends and stuff. And I was like, look, guys, if we're going to do this, like, we need an alibi, because they're immediately going to assume it's us. Like, what other house would do this, right?
Oh, yeah.
What other house would do it? And so we saved one bag of poop to burn on our own porch step.
It's genius. You got to attack yourself. That's what you have to do.
And so we have a couple guys go up to like light the bag and put it on their porch. And literally as they're doing it, our homie who's like driving us around in his pickup truck, he's in his truck just like hunched down, making sure like anyone that drives by doesn't see him. Bed's open for us to like jump and dive in the back of. And as he's doing that, like I hear like a chain of whispers. Like, he's whispered out his car window, and the person behind me can hear him like from the block, like from a few cars away. And he whispers, and he's like, hey, he says that he sees so-and-so's car coming around. And it was like one of the girls who lived at the house, like her way back from like studying at like on campus. I'm like, oh shit. And I like lean out from the car, and I see my homie's like, no, you light it. No, you light it. Like, just back and forth on the porch. I'm like, guys, like trying not to give away. And like, finally, like, they're coming. And like, I like yelled it loud enough that like, and so they like light the bag, and it starts going, and they're like running. And as they're running, I just see headlights come around the corner painting them. And I just like got down and rolled into this car, and they both like idiots, bro. They just like both deers. Step, pivot, crisscross, and like start running, and like one of them runs up to me. I'm like, why'd you stop? Like, why'd you stop like a dude? Like, no way she saw, bro. We're so good. No way she saw. I was like, are you kidding me? And so
headlights just directly on them.
Yeah. And like after that, like I'm like, we gotta go right now, because like I could hear the cars like pulling in. And like the door hasn't opened yet. I'm like, they're gonna start looking around for you, like, because they're gonna know, and they'll find us if we just sit here. Like, we have to leave. And so we're running, and the truck is like starting to pull away, and everyone's like, wait, like screaming as we're like running, like jumping in the back of the truck. But there was still the one bag of poop in the back of the truck, and someone slid into it and like crushed the bag a little. And so anyways, after that, we're laughing. It's pretty funny. There's the panic of us getting caught, and so I'm like, we gotta go quick. So I get home, and the first thing I do as soon as like I'm getting out of the bed of the truck, I'm taking off my pants, taking off my shirt, so I'm just in my boxers, and I put that poop on the porch, light it on fire, and I go inside, and I'm like, any minute now we'll be getting a call. And sure enough, one of the dudes gets a call, and they're like, we know it was you. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, we know it was you that put a bag of shit on our step and lit on fire. And he's like, pretty smooth. I got to give him credit. He's like, wow, that's ironic, because Mick is literally stomping out a bag of shit on our porch. And, like, and they're like, wait, what? And so they like drove over, and as they drive up, I didn't plan this like any better, right? I was like, I took a picture of it, and I sent like a joke in the chat of like our like house group me, not the Papa Oscar. I said it in the house group me. I was like, guys, we got porched. We got poo porch, man. This is war, right? And like, we got to figure out who's doing this. And everyone's like, oh man, oh dude, F that, dude. This is ridiculous. And so then I am taking it out in like a sweep tray to the trash can to dump in. As I hear these tires peeling around the corner, and it's Billie Jean and her roommates and they're rolling up. I'm in my boxers. I look pissed. I'm throwing poop in the trash can that's all burnt. It's my poop.
Yeah.
It's my poop. And they're like, wait, what? No, we know it was you. Like, and like, this is how I knew they started really second guessing. They were like, we saw so-and-so running from our house as like our roommate pulled up. And I was like, that's not even, that dude wasn't even out here with us tonight. Like, they don't know shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was at home. He couldn't come do Papa Oscar, right? And so, like, it was just one of those things, like, perfect alibis. And it worked really well for a long time until one of our homies cracked, like, a fucking egg.
To his girlfriend.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It wasn't even girlfriend. It was just, like, he was just over there playing games with them.
Yeah.
Like, they were playing, like, board games one night, and they, like, just pressured him, and he broke, like, a fucking egg, dude.
Gosh.
And I guarantee you and I both know who it is. Like, telepathically, you already know who it was. And, like, Dean used to live with me, by the way. We used to live in the same house together. It was just one of the, like, my prime time favorite nights, because without a hitch, bro, we got away with it. They, like, you know, totally gaslit him. Like, they totally, like, didn't believe we did it anymore after they drove away. And it was just, like, a conjecture of, like, who did it? Someone pooed themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like, someone's at fault here.
What was the story with one of the more recent times that this was also whenever I was living there? So toward your tail end of being there, that one of our roommates, you guys got caught in the middle of it, and some guy came out of the house to chase you guys and tackled one of our roommates in the lawn. I'm pretty sure.
I wasn't on that one. I wasn't on that Papa Oscar, dude. I've never had anyone get tackled or caught.
It was apparently like a fit of rage as well. Like
No
it was
way.
like it was funny, but like it was intense.
Dude, I never got caught doing that Papa Oscar. That was after my time, bro.
Okay.
I had graduated.
You got to be careful with those pranks. They start to get outrageous.
I mean, here's the thing, bro. I wouldn't be mad. As long as like it wasn't actual, like as long as the kids did it, were smart and didn't like put it on my like straw welcome mat and then just burn my house down, right? Like, you know, like I think it's hilarious, dude.
Oh,
That's
it's so funny.
That is like a classic, like harmless bit of like LOL. Just
There is this
Just pour
factor of
water on
like you wish you could just talk to these people and just like have a good time with them, but
Hey,
really
you.
you're just being laughed at right now, and
Yeah.
you just kind of gotta like soak it in.
yeah, and like the best part is like you always think they can see you because you're looking at them with like their porch light on and a fire. And you're like, there's no way they don't see me. Like, there's so much light. But really what's going on is like, it's so bright in front of them, there's no way they can see you. And like, as long as you keep yourself chill and collected, it's just a funny, harmless prank. You just got to think through it first, right? Like, don't put it on people's porches that have like an actual overhang,
Yeah.
right? So that way you don't start their like little cover on
If
fire.
they don't come out of the house,
If they don't come out of the house, we did do that once where we put it on and knocked
to
it. No
put
one
it
came
out.
out and we did have to go up and put it out.
Oh,
That
yeah.
felt
you
like
just leave it
felt
there?
stupid.
Yeah, you're
like
like,
you were just like,
you
I'm
pooed
an
yourself.
idiot. Yeah,
You pooed out yourself.
You're like, really? No one's home? I guess they're all maybe out,
do you just,
like at
do you
the
just
bars
leave
being
it there?
adults.
Yeah.
Do you just leave it there burned up just on the porch?
No, dude.
The remnants
no,
of it.
No, you go put it out and then you just like scrape it off onto like the side of the porch or something. Like you just like
It's like you all looking around, you're just like looking at it like it's like at that moment the mob mentality just goes away. You're like, oh, we gotta clean this up.
And it was over for me, but Dean and one of our other roommates, let's call him Carp. He they did something. I don't know, Dean, if you want to describe it. It was such a harmless, stupid prank, but
It was just bad timing.
yeah.
It was really bad timing. So there's this event that's going on for the campus ministry that we were with, and I can't remember where it was supposed to be at. You might be able
It's
to.
originally supposed to be in like a church in Boulder.
Yeah, it was like a getaway sort of deal.
Yeah.
That got canceled, and so now they decide these girls decide to generously host it in their house.
Bad move.
And we were going to do it. I think we were planning on doing it while they were gone. And we knew full well that they were going to be there with like 100 people in this house during this event. So we're there and it's prayer time. And
So perfect time to prank because everyone's eyes are closed.
so we go down into the basement And the goal was that we were just going to defile one of their bathrooms. That was the goal.
Wait, say defile. We got to clarify because Pat described a story of defile.
Yeah, no, that was true defile. We just wanted to make this bathroom during this party unusable, right? So we were going to take the toilet seat.
Yeah.
And it was going to be easy. It was not easy to get this toilet seat off.
Those toilet seats are like soldered on, bro. Like, I took a leather bid for like 5 minutes out of it. I remember I was like, I'm not getting this toilet seat out of here.
The fact that we were down there and did not get caught during probably 20 minutes of trying to get this toilet seat off, we would have broken the toilet trying to get it off. That's what we concluded to. So we decided we were just going to take the doors off of this bathroom because it was a bathroom that could be accessed from two sides. We were going to take the doors. So we took the doors. We put them behind the couches in the basement. And while this is happening, one of the culprits is upstairs. One of the girls in the house who, were you dating her at this time?
No.
Okay.
That's also partly why I stopped because we were exes, and I was like,
yeah, it was a
this can easily cross into like vindictive territory.
Right. So me and one guy, or me and a man named Carp, are downstairs trying to execute, and one of our others is upstairs.
Is he distraction? Was he running distraction?
He's at the top of the stairs. We're in the basement. She comes up to him and she says, please tell me you are not pranking us right now. Because this is right after.
How do you say no?
And he says, no, we wouldn't do that. And she says, please, this is not a good time. You better not be pranking us right now. He says, no, we're not doing this. He sends us a text. He says, abandon ship.
Abort.
And we already have the doors off of the hinges. And I say, no, we're not. So we put.
I will say this: of all the people I know, Dean is one of the ones I'm like most scared of. Like, if I was like, we're in too deep, man, we got to board. I'm afraid Dean would like. Have you guys seen the movie Panic Room?
We're not deep enough.
Have you guys seen the movie Panic Room? I'm afraid Dean would just shoot me for like being a pussy. Just like, no one's abandoning ship.
We committed and we're gonna finish. So we take the doors off. We finish taking the doors off. We put them behind the couch. We go upstairs. We're stoked. We think this is hilarious. We immediately go back into prayer. This woman goes downstairs, finds the doors off because somebody went to go use the bathroom, comes back upstairs, alerts one of the hostesses. Hey, there's no doors on your bathroom. She immediately comes around the corner, tears flowing out of her eyes, and she's ready to fight, dude. She's ready to fight. I do not take any of the blow at all. The guy who was upstairs on guard and the guys downstairs with me immediately pull her into another room. I'm sitting there. I took these doors off, and I'm not taking any of the heat right now. I'm just witnessing it. I'm just witnessing. She is just screaming at.
Well, it was like whisper swearing. It was like whisper cuss out at
because we're also in the middle of prayer time.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, just like the most. And I'm just like, what's going on over there? I swear I hear something coming from the kitchen, and like I remember Dean is like, no, don't go over there, dude. Don't, no. Just like, oh my gosh, what happened?
We immediately leave. We don't even finish the event. We immediately leave, and we all go back to the house for like, did we do something really wrong? Like, what are the consequences of this? Not even from the standpoint like, are we gonna get pranked? It's how angry are these women at us?
I don't think Carp ever talked to any of them again, and I don't think he ever went back into that house ever again. Yeah, which I get because I thought it was a big overreaction. Like, here's the thing: there was like 4 bathrooms in that house. It's a massive house. It's like it's the size of a sorority house.
Right.
Yeah, really cool house.
And the reaction of like disappointment, frustration, maybe embarrassment, like that's understood. The way it was executed was, I think, way off the rails for the prank.
The problem there was a lot of last minute planning and stress that went into this event. And we came in there with one thing in mind, and it was to
Wreck it.
ruin the event.
No, it wasn't even ruined. That doesn't ruin it though. That prank is not an event ruining prank.
No,
that's
it's not.
an inconvenience of like, oh gosh, someone took the. All right, well, hey, we have another bathroom you can use. You know what I mean?
It's just I'm imagining a guest going downstairs
It's
to go to
like,
the bathroom. They're like,
ironic that there's not a door here.
in this house full of women.
Is there another door I can go to, like another bathroom? And it's like rather than being like, yeah, they like lost their shit. And I was just like, look, frustration warranted. Way you handle it, totally glass house. And like, you don't like if that's the way you're gonna react. Like, you don't get to like say anything if anyone else blows up on you. You know what I mean?
I will say the prank to respond to this was actually incredibly funny
What was that? I don't even remember that
because it was so dumb.
Oh, classic girls like
What happened?
sometimes doing dumb pranks.
One of the girls in this house decided she went to a garage sale and she found these giant, really ugly lamps. And she thought that it would be hilarious to buy these lamps.
They're still sitting in the freaking house.
Yes.
They are still in that house.
to put them in the house and to say nothing.
Oh,
And so this is I've been in the house for maybe a few weeks at this point. I had just moved in. When we did this prank on the female's house, I was like basically moving in at this point.
mm-hmm.
So I've been moved in for a few weeks. These lamps are in the house and they're just like, they're not even, they're just like, they're like regular furniture. And so multiple,
I don't even think I noticed them for weeks, dude.
Right. Multiple guys come to me and they're like, dude, did you bring those ugly ass
I just figured, I seriously thought Dean brought them.
And I'm like, no. And I'm like, that's so weird. And I get this question multiple times. Like, Dookie comes up to me. He's like, dude, there's these really ugly lamps in the house. Like, did you bring those? I'm like, no, dude. Like, I didn't bring these lamps.
So
in the house.
funny.
And we found out like a couple weeks later, and I brought one of them down into my room to use it as a lamp because I needed.
I've been in that house. There's nothing that you could put in that house that doesn't make it better.
Yeah, like
Exactly,
It's like,
right?
Like a lamp, it just is good.
that lamp was to the day I left in my room being used as one of two
So
sources
funny.
of light in that room.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was so funny, man. And
It
I
was good.
just remember like too, like the way they did it, like the way they revealed, like, so what do you think of your new lamps? And I was just like,
What the?
oh,
fuck?
so it was you? Okay, all right, yeah. Well, thanks, I guess. I don't know. At first, I was like, I didn't even get it was a prank. I was like, oh, I kind of feel bad for pranking them now because they bought us lamps. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it's just all different.
I have one question
Oh yeah, go for it.
because I don't think I was really here for the evolution of this.
Yeah,
Rat King.
Rat King.
Rat King. I'm pretty sure that was something you came up with. It's something you coined in the house. That everything that went wrong in the house, we blamed it on Rat King.
The Rat King.
The
I
Rat
might
King.
have. I left. Here's the one thing I did do.
Mm-hmm.
This can't be known. I left a lot of notes and stickers in that house after I left of just like, I was like, what's the most like schizophrenic harebrained shit I could like leave around here for people to find? And like, there's some definitely stuff around there that probably at some point in my brain was like, yeah, pieces to a puzzle. And then like now I guarantee you I wouldn't even be able to figure out what the puzzle was. So you tell me what Rat King is, because I'll say this. I did go to that house to make up for the pranks to kill their rats and mice for them. Like that's how I repaired a bridge. Was I was going to those girls' house because they would call me and they're like, we have another mouse or rat, can you come get it? I was like, yeah, sure. And I'd go get it and kill it, and so they wouldn't have to deal with it.
I can't really tell you the details behind it. It'd probably be something we'd have to ask one of the other guys, but it was this evolution that just anything wrong or anything that went possibly wrong in the house or anything that went missing, it was just blamed on Rat King. And I don't know where it got coined from, but
That's funny.
Rat Story.
Uh-huh. So many rats in that house.
Yeah, so many rats in this house. One of which at the beginning of each year there was like two parties that would happen for all the people within the community. One of which was a spaghetti or pasta dinner, and then another one was with barbecue. I think
No, ice cream social.
ice cream social. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So barbecue comes in later, I guess. all the pasta and spaghetti from this dinner would get put into the refrigerators for later so that we could just eat them through the weeks.
Because we never bought the pasta. The campus ministry paid for it with the campus ministry card. So it was just free food for us for weeks.
So in my refrigerator, bottom shelf is these giant tin tubs of pasta that sat there for months.
Ooh.
And by the time we were clearing out the fridge, there was some barbecue sauce that had spilled underneath one of these pasta containers. A mouse had crawled in there, gotten stuck in the barbecue sauce
in the fridge,
and then died.
Yeah, I did see this.
How does a mouse get in the fridge,
bro? It's an old fridge. I'm sure it crawled in through the back.
I'm sure it crawled in while someone had it open.
The worst
dude,
part,
I don't even know.
So it was one person's fault, and we tasked that one person with getting that mouse out of the barbecue sauce after we discovered that it was there.
That's so funny.
I leave for 2 weeks on vacation. I come home. That fucking mouse is still in that barbecue sauce.
That is so gross.
I was so angry that people multiple times a day were opening this fridge, getting their food out, seeing this mouse dead there for months, and then just would close it back up and just keep going on it.
Yeah, I'll say the quality of that house went downhill after my generation. I will say, like, I remember finding out about that and being mortified. Like,
oh my God,
look, boys, there's a line. Okay, like, that was a fucking decency.
I grabbed a spatula and scraped that thing off.
Yeah. I think I was there when you scraped it off. I think I was hanging out with Browntown and friggin' saw that, and I was just like, that's one of the most wretched things I've ever seen in my life.
God, dude.
That house is just a memory maker, though. Like, I remember the one summer we came back and straight up just like wasp hive in the house. Like, just giant ass, like,
inside
tumor in the house, like, of wasp hive coming out of the ceiling. We were like, what is that? Like, is our house falling apart? Because it was a paper wasp hive. But it was so massive, and then someone bumped it and like just wasp flied down. I was like, oh shit! And, like closed doors behind us. It felt like, honestly, it was the same thrill of like Alien, where you're like just closing the doors behind you while they chase you. You know, it was pretty fun. But there's just so many good things about the house. That house is a gross house.
Yeah,
it should be burnt to the ground.
It's gotten a lot cleaner since. But from what I've been told is that the owners know how bad it is, but they are so grateful that they've had like basically people paying rent religiously for however like a decade at this
over
point.
a decade
with zero maintenance calls.
Zero maintenance calls, and like they haven't had to worry about anything. It's like it's been passed down every single year. And so their plan is that the day that comes that for some reason that house does not get passed down, they're just going to gut it and redo it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, they are so incredibly grateful.
Well, yeah, because they're making like $3,500 a month off of it.
Dude, I did a radon test in that house, which is hilarious.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Which was like,
should we all get our lawyers?
No, it's like you should clean the mouse before you call for the radon test. You know what I mean? It's just like the order of operation on this was like, guys, there's a lot of other things that are going to kill you long before radon in this old house.
The mold.
The basement was so cold. And there were curtains that were always closed in that house. And I remember I was cleaning up all the spiders in the basement when I first got in there, because the basement was just, the thing just filled like brim to brim with spiders. And I pull back these curtains to vacuum up the webs, and all of the windows in the basement have like a 1/4-inch gap where it's just like air. And I'm like, all the windows are completely open. And I'm like, it's been
how
winters.
long have they been open?
It's been winters. This is why you can see your breath when you wake up in the middle of the night and it's cold, because all the windows are open.
Because 6 years ago, no one closed this window one night. The curtains were closed.
I ended up nailing them closed because I was like, we're gonna freeze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude, I do love the memories of like just. There was a class difference between who lived upstairs and who lived downstairs. Like, if you lived downstairs, you were untouchable. Like, that was like Brazilian favela. like no, like you were just a separate sect, and how dare you? We called you
Different class.
We called them the basement bastards. I was just like, and I remember when they'd come upstairs with their greedy little paws begging for scraps, asking, "Can I use your shower?" I'm like, don't breathe on me. No, but dude, the biggest reason, like psychologically, I just like joked about the dudes living in the basement being peasants was because of the poop pipe shower. Like they have this shower.
It's a plastic shower from Home Depot.
Yeah, and it's like
at best
just got this massive toilet pipe. Like it's coming from the toilet upstairs, just draining down in the middle of like the shower.
Yeah,
like it's like not even like flush against a wall.
It's just in there.
It's like so inconvenient to move around and stuff. And I'm just like, you peasants, like they don't even have like a real door. They have a Venetian.
There's a sewer drain pipe in the shower.
Yeah. It runs through the shower and the ground, and it just
that's hilarious.
And there's like Venetian blinds that you use to close when you're taking a shit.
Yeah,
and I just remember like peasants.
I never once used that shower upstairs. I also never pooped in that bathroom upstairs.
You only do the downstairs?
All 2.5 years, I never pooped or showered upstairs once.
Wow, dude. Just know what? You knew your place. You knew your place.
I will say,
can't tell you how many times I had to put my foot on some of those peasants' faces and push them back down the stairs.
I maybe had the most luxurious room in the whole house. It
that
was
basement
the warmest.
Room? It was a hot room. That was a hot room.
It was the warmest during the winter,
right next
and
to the
it
furnace.
was the coolest in the summer because it was in the basement.
That's what you want.
And it had carpet. I was one of the few people, actually the only one with a single room.
Yeah.
I
had my own
room. When you know you're living.
Yeah.
That's like on the high-end Zillow post, like, has carpet.
What's hilarious, when toward the tail end of me being there, in this shower on this pipe for years, at least 5 or 6 years from what I've been told, there was dental floss that this guy would floss his teeth. I can't remember who it was. Would floss his teeth every time he showered, and he would just hang his floss on this water pipe.
Nice.
And it had been there for so long that it just grew into the paint of the pipe. And
did it connect itself to other strands?
They were
the plaque.
They were like separate, but when the day came that I pulled it out, it was like taking off chunks of paint.
Oh my god!
Because it had been there
so
for
gross,
so
dude.
long.
So gross.
Oh man, what an incredible time.
I think about just how different life was living in a house. Like, it didn't feel like survival, but damn, did I feel freaking poor. Like, that was the poorest I've ever felt in my life.
Mick spent 50% of the nights sleeping on the couch.
In the summer.
Yeah.
In the summer.
His routine was play video games all night till probably 4 a.m.
I didn't play video games.
Go to sleep on the couch.
I didn't have any video games to play outside in the living room.
No, in your room.
Oh yeah, I would play until Zach went to bed,
and then you would go to sleep on the couch in the living room. And I would be going to work in the morning, and Mick would be up still.
Bro, that was when you worked for coffee and you were like up at like 4:30. Or did you have to be at work by 4:30?
That'd be by 4:45.
Yeah. So there's times where he got up and I was like, "What up, dude? On my second movie tonight." Dude, I just could not sleep in the house. It was so hot.
So hot.
And like I'd just be on the couch until I got exhausted and fell asleep.
And I'd be sleeping in luxury in the basement in that nice, cool
I do envy
basement.
that. I do envy that. I don't envy how poor you were, but
and you were up there with a freaking wet rag around your head.
It's called a schmonk. It's right there.
Yeah.
That's the one that I used to keep my head cool.
Stay cool.
Bro, it was one of those summers where like you weren't upset when someone iced you, bro. Like, you were happy that someone was icing you, doing you a favor, looking out, making sure you were cooling off.
Making sure you were hydrated.
Yeah. Pat, you lived in destitution, didn't you? Or did you have a nice college house? You know what ours looked like. I don't think I've ever been to yours.
No, ours wasn't horrible, but it was definitely had all the college house features. It's funny where you're talking about the girls losing their mind because the doors were taken off the bathroom. And speaking of jet boiling your beans, at one point during a house meeting,
I don't know if I want to know this.
during a house meeting once, we decided the best thing for our life would be to have a house with no doors on the interior. We took every door
Accountability.
off. We
Can't jet boil your beans with no door.
We took every door off in the entire interior of the house. There was 2 doors on the house, the front door and the back door. Every door was in the garage. So, like,
That's incredible.
like the funny thing about if our group had been at a meeting with your group and you'd taken the doors off, we would have just gone to the bathroom in the doorless bathroom.
Girls wouldn't have.
So here's what happened. It got to the point where we eventually hung a towel for a bathroom door. I took the pin out of the hinge, cut a hole in the towel, stuck it through the towel, and then nailed the towel to the other side. And so you'd go through a towel door to the bathroom.
Disgusting.
The girls would use that. It was
Really?
yeah.
I feel like that I know girls would use.
Yep. So because it was visible, no visual, but full audio. It was like we got to the point where even like I woke up one morning and went to the bathroom, and like as I came out, she's my wife now, but at the time she's my girlfriend. She's like, I knew that was you because of like the way you peed. I was like, all right, this is too much. Like, right, this is like you could hear it, but the girls would use the bathroom, whatever. But I will say, it was actually so surrendering your privacy. It was for each guy in the house. It was it was for different levels. Like for a guy like me, where you're like, I really don't care. It's not that big a deal. Like, it's kind of strange, but let's do it. All the way over to
funny.
All the way over to the guy. I think it's funny. All the way to the guy who's like, I don't change in my underwear in front of other dudes, right? Like, so we had that whole spectrum, and like, but it was actually, I think, healthy as much as like part of it sounds weird and silly and gross. It was actually a good way for us to live together, and it did, like, we have a Bible study where every dude in the house is struggling. All right, get rid of the freaking doors.
Yeah, no, I think there's some sense to that for a dude's house.
Yeah, there's much less struggling because of social pressure of caught in the activity. Like, caught in the activity, you want to eat a bullet, right? So it's like,
I don't know. I've never been caught, but the fear is real.
The idea of caught in the activity.
I remember thinking in high school
is mortifying. It's mortifying.
Oh yeah, I was in high school. I was like, if I got caught by my mother, I think they would just fall out the window, could kill me.
Yeah,
like I was like, just the last act.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
there's a couple embarrassing things back to back.
So, in a world where we live, like, we're like the best case scenario is like whatever, like get drunk, get laid, get paid. Like that's like the college thing, right? It would be like the main goals. It was cool to live in a house full of guys who we were like serious enough about trying to be different that we'd go to the extent of taking doors.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I will say my best years of college were and post college were when I had a room to share with a roommate. Like, just highest levels of happiness, highest levels of thankfulness. That's mainly why I did it. Was like, I just don't want to slip up and get comfortable and be having sex in the house. And I definitely was really thankful for that. I will say though, it's also probably some of the most like frustrated. You know what I mean? Of like just like going to bed every night listening to Carp snore. Love the man, but dude, sometimes, man. Or like just waking up in the morning because he's opening the window next to our bed to piss out it. And I'm just like, tight. You know, like, so like there's just things like that
and
like
the
is a
man
trade-off.
had a freaking fire hose.
I did, yeah, no, that guy's the only person I've seen who can piss 20 feet. Like, I don't think I've ever seen another person be able to do it. Anyways, dude, good memories here on the Mick and Pat show. Dean,
For sure.
Thanks for joining us, dog.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, I think if I could say anything, I'm considering card tent now. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
The idea of being able to just fold it up and roll, that's such convenience.
You literally described
I just need a bed on wheels.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
And this started out with you saying that you were skeptical.
I was skeptical, dude. I was. I'm less skeptical now.
I didn't even really have to say anything.
That's a good salesman right there.
I didn't have to say
Talk
anything.
myself into the purchase.
Yeah.
Well, Pat, you got anything you want to sign off with?
I'd say, I think that if you guys have stuck with us to the end here, we appreciate you listening, and we're excited for the things that are coming next. We're working on our dog-eared dialogues. We're going to be bringing more of those to you soon. We've been hitting Audible hard, covering lots of books, and I think there's lots of lessons to be learned from the books that we're reading that we're going to be bringing out on that front. Brews and reviews, more of those are coming your way. If I get my act together and start watching TV, which feels like an oxymoronic thing to say, to get your act together and watch more TV. But
Just do this one thing for me, man. Just watch Oppenheimer, so at least we could talk about it.
All right, Oppenheimer's coming your way, yeah, we're going to start working on our next limited series, like our fatherhood series that we came out with, and I think that we've been at it for a whole entire year.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate all you people who've been listening to us, jabber on, and we enjoy doing this. We have a lot of fun doing it. We get a lot of life doing it, and we hope it brings a lot of life to you.
Till next time.
Thanks for tuning in. If you love this episode, drop us a review. If you have qualms or comments, leave us a voicemail on our website. While you're there, check out our latest news, merch, and deals from our sponsors. Till next time, Ken.